Liverpool reject a massive, monumental bid from Al-Ittihad of Saudi Arabia for Mohammed Salah. Take two. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, today's big breaking news story is, of course, it is deadline day. So there is a lot of breaking news stories buzzing around, but I'm going to be focusing on this one. I was going to go live a little later after doing the Europa League draw, but I can't. I've got to talk about Mohammed Salah right now, because the breaking news from David Ornstein is that Al-Ittihad have put in a bid for Mohammed Salah that has been rejected by Liverpool, and a monumental one at that, totaling of around about 150 million if reports are to be believed, with 100 million being up front and the other 50 being in substantial add-ons. We're going to be talking all about this. We're going to be talking all about Salah, Liverpool, Saudi Arabia, the influence and everything else that goes along with that. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. And I encourage you as well to get involved in the chat. Big story, this one. I want you to get involved in the chat. Talk to me all about it. Talk to me about Salah. Should he stay? Should he go? Should Liverpool cash in? Should Liverpool withstand the interest from Saudi Arabia? All of that stuff, I'm sure, will make for great and interesting reading in the chat. So do get involved down there. But without further ado, let's talk Mohammed Salah. Let's talk Liverpool. Let's talk everything else in between, because the news from David Ornstein is that exclusive. He took to Twitter, or X. I still find it stupid. But he said exclusive. Liverpool reject verbal bid worth more than £100 million for Salah, plus substantial add-ons from Saudi Pro League to sign Mohammed Salah for Al-Ittihad. Proposal made on amicable call to Mike Gordon last night. Liverpool view as case closed. SPL, Saudi Pro League, do not. That is according to The Athletic. Huge. Liverpool don't need this today. Liverpool need to keep him for one season. Hey, Balam, how you doing, my dude? Yeah, I agree with you. We do not need this today, but guess what? It was going to come, and it was always going to come for a while. We'd heard all summer that Saudi Arabia were looking at Salah. We'd heard rumors, we'd heard whispers, we'd heard things of that nature that were suggesting that Saudi Arabia were looking at Mohammed Salah to be their next top target. And what a target it would be, not just for what he brings on the pitch, but for everything that he brings off the pitch as well. This is a guy who is an icon in Africa. He's an icon for Egypt. He's a legend in Egypt. This would bring a lot of eyes and a lot of attention from that particular continent in particular to the Saudi Pro League. We know that Saudi Arabia are looking to grow their footballing aspect of their culture and of their game. And obviously we know that because they've been signing a lot of top tier, or at least top brand targets from Europe in particular. It started with Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously one of the greatest to ever play the game, with a massive following. It's then continued. It's gone to the likes of Karim Benzema, a former Ballon d'Or winner, N'Golo Kante. The likes of Roberto Firmino have followed. Jordan Henderson, former England and Liverpool captain, of course, has gone as well, along with a lot of other names that have made their name in Europe and have made their brand in Europe. Got a lot of eyes on the product that have gone to Saudi Arabia, mainly for big money, of course, mainly for big money. Not the sole reason, but a large majority of the reasoning is for money, and they're starting to grow, and they're a runaway train right now. They're not slowing down anytime soon. The influence that the Saudi Pro League has had has been so influential and has been growing a hell of a lot across the whole of the transfer window. And it seems that they are now going to be targeting Mohammed Salah for the foreseeable future. And I think he will go. But not just yet. I think he will stay another year with Liverpool, and I think he will see out at least one more year of his contract at the very least. He's got 2 more years on his contract. He'll see out another year, and then it's a big decision as to whether or not Liverpool cash in on him. Like I say, Saudi's influence doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. It's snowballing. It is gathering a huge steam of momentum behind it. It looks like it's only going to continue to try and grow and become even more ambitious than it ever has before. And like I say, it's only going to get a stronger hold. And you can see that they're being ambitious by the players they're bringing in and by the fact that they want to even try and implement a way in which they can get one of their Saudi Arabian teams to be a part of the Champions League for future seasons to come. They've got big ambitions. They've got a massive project building over there, and they want Mohammed Salah to be a part of it because of not just what he brings to a side and to the league in terms of what he can offer on the pitch, but everything else as far as being a part of a massive brand that he can offer off the pitch as well, and help not just his team, but also help the league as a whole as well. Many Liverpool fans expect Salah to go one day to Saudi Arabia. Like I said, I think he will go. I just don't think it will be this time around. Don't understand why Liverpool loaned Nathaniel Phillips away, considering that we've got a couple of injuries to our back line. And let's face it, some of them centre-backs are not exactly reliable when it comes to the injury front. It is a bit worrying. I expect Joe Gomez and Matip to stay. I think they will now. We should do some business today in terms of getting a defender, but things seem to have gone quiet after Ryan Gravenberch. So I would imagine we're going to loan a couple of youngsters out today, and that's all we're going to hear from Liverpool today, apart from obviously official confirmation of Ryan Gravenberch. So yeah, that's all we've got to look forward to today as Liverpool fans, as well as obviously the Europa League, and of course hearing the news that we are rejecting Al-Ittihad for now. This is the scary part for now. The scary part is that Saudi Arabian's transfer window doesn't close until next week. They have an extra 6 or 7 days in which their transfer window is still open for business. So if Salah's head does get turned between now and then, if Salah does want to go, if Salah wakes up tomorrow morning and goes, what am I doing? I could be earning so much more in Saudi Arabia. I could be having a new challenge in Saudi Arabia. I could be playing back against the likes of Mane and Firmino, and I could play against Ronaldo and whoever else. If he wakes up tomorrow with them kind of thoughts, Liverpool are done. Liverpool are done, because if he wants to leave, there's no way we can get a replacement until at least January. If he wants to leave that badly, we're probably facing a massive uphill battle to keep him. That's the worrying thing. The worrying thing is that the Saudi Pro League's transfer window doesn't close for another week or so. And like I say, it's not just Liverpool that has to be wary of this, but every other team has to be wary of it as well. Because if they decide to target certain players, money talks. Money talks, and certain players will go for money. We've seen players go for money in this transfer window already, pretty much. Players you probably wouldn't expect. Players like Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves. He went. Lots of players have gone for money this transfer window. If players are to go over there, for right now, it's about money. I'm not saying it can't grow. I'm not saying it can't get better. I'm not saying the quality will not get any better over there. But for right now, it's about money. And a part of it also is to obviously be one of the first names that actually help the Saudi League grow, because they don't put stops on this. They're not going to slow things down anytime soon. They're going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to put more money into it. They're going to continue to invest and to be more ambitious than ever. And it's only going to get bigger and stronger over there. And with the players that they have at their disposal right now, there may be players that may be seen as being a bit more over the hill kind of thing, on the decline. For the most part, they're starting to attract younger players. They're starting to attract players that are still at the top of their game. Like I say, they have Cristiano Ronaldo over there. They have Karim Benzema, two players that have won numerous Ballon d'Ors between them, mainly on Ronaldo's side, of course. They're attracting players that were on top of their game once upon a time. N'Golo Kante, one of the best defensive midfielders the Premier League's ever seen. You've got Roberto Firmino, one of the best false number 9 attackers the Premier League has ever seen. Like I say, Ruben Neves was on the upwards trajectory for a while. You've got players that have always gone over there, like Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, even youngsters like Gabri Veiga, who was heavily rumored to be going and making a move across Europe, mainly to the Premier League. Liverpool were interested, Man City were interested once upon a time. A move never materialized, but yet a youngster like him with a lot of potential and a lot of room to grow has gone to Saudi Arabia as well. This is just the beginning, and it's only going to get even stronger from this point forward. If Thiago goes, I'll be amazed with how Liverpool got rid of all of their midfielders from last season and the senior ones. Ryan from Bayern is still young, so he should be ready to run. CR7, Benzema, Neymar, they have players. Exactly. I forgot even about Neymar. There's been that many that I even forgot about Neymar going over there as well. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely stupidly ridiculous. But at the same time, like I say, if that's what they want, it's it is what it is, isn't it? There's nothing you can really do about it. There's nothing the Premier League can necessarily do about it. They've got to, if they want something to happen, they've got to have FIFA step in and be like, this has to stop, or this has to be cooled off a little bit in terms of everything that's going on right now. But in terms of Salah, like I say, the hope is that he doesn't want to leave. The hope is that what his agent said a few weeks ago still rings true and is still something that Liverpool fans can hold on to. The fact that he said he wouldn't have signed a long-term contract, or the contract that he did, if he wasn't going to be committed to the club, and he was obviously going to be leaving. I think the perfect thing for Salah here would be, look, I don't think Liverpool are going to win the league. I still think we're a bit short in a couple of key places for Liverpool to win the league. But that being said, the Europa League should be no issue whatsoever. So the perfect way for Salah to leave, if it is going to be next year, is going to be for him to help Liverpool win the Europa League, help Liverpool get back into the Champions League, and then ultimately bow out as a legend out of the club and as one of the best players that not only Liverpool have seen, but the Premier League has seen as well. Absolute king. And I'm not just talking about Egyptian king. Absolute king is Mohammed Salah. Brilliant player, incredibly underrated, I'd say, by not just some certain Liverpool fans, but by fans across the Premier League as well. I think he does get a little bit overlooked and a bit underrated at times. And that's mad to say, given his stats, given the way that he's obviously took to the Premier League since joining Liverpool several years ago. But I definitely say that. Obviously, I would love for him, and I think he's earned the right to maybe say, to call his time at the club, whenever that may be. But with us on deadline day, if this had happened earlier on in the transfer window, you could maybe hold your hands up and maybe say, you know what? As horrible as it is, and as maybe as bad as what it looks like, there's nothing necessarily you can do about it. But if it was to happen on deadline day, or God forbid it was to happen after deadline day in the remaining days of their transfer window rather than ours, oh, Jesus Christ, that would leave us in a pretty sticky situation. Cover for there is not exactly great either. Like, we've got untried and untested players to cover that position. For me, yes, you can maybe put Diego Jota on the right. Is he as effective, and does that maybe lose a bit of balance? Yes, in my opinion, it does. It's not going to be as balanced, and it's not going to be as reliable as putting Salah out there. You can try an untested Ben Doak on that side. But again, is he ready? Is he going to be able to match the physicality? Is he going to be able to... He looks promising and he looks good. But again, he's young. It's... Like I say, I hope this doesn't happen. I don't necessarily think it will happen. But it's still worrying to me that this story is still buzzing around. Their transfer window doesn't close for another several days, and we are obviously running out of time in our transfer window to to obviously do something about it. Like I said, I don't think we will, because I think our transfer business is done. I think maybe a couple of loan signings and the confirmation of Ryan Gravenberch is all we're going to expect today from Liverpool. Even though really we should be looking at our defence and getting a right-sided centre back / right back in that position to help Trent out. But you know, we're going to get the same spiel every time that a transfer window happens. Klopp's happy with the squad. The right player wasn't available for the right money. We've had 150 million just sat there doing nothing apart from being put in for bids for players that don't actually want to come to us for the past month or two. So, you know, if you want to believe all that stuff, go ahead and believe it. Go ahead and follow the hype train. Go ahead and follow the positivity train. Whatever. I always try and be as positive as I can. But when it comes to this, and when you can actually see the truth staring at you in the face, it's hard to kind of miss it. So, whatever the case may be. Liverpool and FSG can't afford to sell Salah today. For FSG, it doesn't matter. It's a business. For Liverpool, and if you are a Liverpool fan, yeah, we can't afford to sell Salah. What do you think they are smoking at the Emirates? Remember that tweet? Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Bit of nostalgia and bit of flashback down or travel down memory lane there. I'd love to know what you guys think, though. I'd love to know what you guys think. Like I said, this one's a mad one for me. This one's an absolute mad one. Salah, I don't think Salah's leaving. The bid, like they say, is 100 million plus seemingly 50 million in add-ons. That's what everyone's reporting today that it is. For me, not good enough, especially because I imagine some of those add-ons are going to be unrealistic. Some of those add-ons are probably going to be, if Salah wins 6 Ballon d'Ors in the next 3 years, then we'll give you 40 million. And then the other one's probably going to be, we'll give you the extra 10 million if he scores 200 goals in 5 appearances or something ridiculous along those lines. So the add-ons to me don't really matter. To me, it's probably going to be just 100 million by the sounds of it. If they are to come in with an improved bid, FSG are going to be considering it, and you can bet your bottom dollar on that. They're going to be considering it. If it's something like 150 million up front at the very least, you know they're going to be considering it. As I say, a lot can happen in this transfer window, and it's crazy. I'm a bit worried. If we had owners that were proper owners, I wouldn't be as worried. But I'm a little bit concerned that things can change, and things can obviously I'm just concerned, basically. I'm not necessarily completely worried. I would strongly, if I had to put money on it, I'd say that Salah stays. But at the same time, if a big enough bid was to come in, if Saudi were to improve that offer, if Salah's head was to turn for whatever reason, then my concern would grow to worry. I don't think it will happen. I'm praying it won't happen. I'm praying that the quote from Salah's agent still rings true, that obviously he's committed to the club. He wants to stay. He's open to the move, but let's face it, he's open because, like I say, money aspect and everything. But we'll see. We will definitely see on this. What do you think they're smoking at the Emirates? They will keep Thomas Partey this summer, it seems. Yeah, and then it's all about whether or not they can get him and Declan Rice and Odegaard or Havertz or whoever it is to be a good trio in that midfield. I think they'll keep him for another year and move him on, to be honest. I think with them being open to moving him on this summer, they'll probably move him on next summer instead. We'll have to wait and see. But this Salah thing, Liverpool's stance does seem firm. That's all I'll say. The Saudi League wants Salah and any other player, well-known Muslims out there. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's categorized completely as anyone from like the Muslim community, but at the same time, there have been a few that have gone out there, and it's understandable as to why, in terms of a location aspect and everything. But at the same time, like, it's anybody who's got a big reputation within the game and a big brand. And Salah ticks the box of obviously being Muslim, but also ticks the box of having a big brand and obviously a big part of today's modern game. He's still playing at a top level. He's still on top of his game. He's still incredible in the biggest league and the most well-known league in the world. And like I said earlier, he is an icon in Africa. He's an icon and a legend for Egypt. So he's going to bring a lot of eyes to the Saudi Arabian project wherever he goes. He's a bit like Son at Tottenham. Saudi, I'm sure, would have loved to have got their hands on Son for the kind of Asian market, I guess you'd say, because wherever Son goes, you can imagine that there are going to be a lot of eyes from Asia that are going to be following him wherever he goes. Similar thing with Salah, massive brand potential that Saudi would love to have and love to exploit. To obviously boost and enhance the reputation of the Saudi Pro League. So that's a big reason why they would love to have him over there. I don't understand Chelsea with FFP. Been saying the same thing all summer, my dude. Been saying the same thing all summer. I don't understand how they can do it, and I don't understand how they can make all of these signings and then cut the what did they cut? The away travel. They cut the away travel of fans. Now I get they're not a charity, but at the same time, fans are the heart and soul of a club. And if you're making all of these incredibly mega rich signings to only cut something that would benefit the fans, what the hell are you playing at? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, to be honest. But there you go. They were struggling about a week ago after signing Moises Caicedo. All of a sudden, they're finding the money to sign Cole Palmer, which, by the way, I will talk about more on Cole Palmer later. I will be doing a sort of deadline day sort of live stream talking about more than just Salah. But yeah, Cole Palmer leaving Man City. I thought this guy was meant to be the next big thing to come out of City's academy. And yes, he still could be technically to a point, but he won't obviously be playing for City going forward. Maybe there is a buyback clause in his contract for City. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But for 40 million, I thought this guy was meant to be the next big thing to come out of City's academy since Phil Foden. So I'm interested to know what that one is all about. But yeah, go back to the Salah one. Son Heung-min, yeah, that is interesting. 40 million for Cole Palmer is over the top, no? Well, he arrives with a big reputation and big potential. So, you know, maybe he could, but I know that I would. I don't know, really. I don't know. 40 million for Cole Palmer, like I said, the market is the market as it is right now. And, you know, that's all we can really say on that one, to be honest. So we shall see. We shall see. But no. Salah, interesting. Do you see Dortmund versus Liverpool in the Europa League like 2016? It might happen. If they obviously get knocked down to the Europa League, yeah, it potentially could happen. And I think Dortmund are in a very difficult group. They're in that group of death with PSG, AC Milan, and Newcastle. So that's going to be a very interesting group. I cannot wait to watch that one. That one is going to be fire each and every single week. But yeah, them. If it happens, it happens. It would be incredible. But we'll have to wait and see. Who is missing out? Paris, Newcastle, Milan. Newcastle have a tough one. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but I'll say on this one, I back Newcastle and Dortmund. I obviously did a video earlier today, which I talked about the Champions League and the group stages and everything. And I went with my heart on that one rather than my head. And I went with Newcastle and Dortmund to go through that group. I'd love it if that was to happen. But we should wait and see. Like I say, I think that group's going to be absolutely fire week in, week out, and I cannot wait to watch that group in particular. I think every other group is pretty much straightforward for the most part. But yeah, for that one in particular, that one is going to be absolutely solid. And I cannot wait for that group of death. Brighton confirmed the signing of Ansu Fati on the season-long loan from Barcelona. We talked about him yesterday as well. Quality signing for Brighton, in my opinion. Bit of a concern, I would say, over his injury record. But for a season-long loan, no obligation to buy. It's no risk on Brighton whatsoever. And I think he will only enhance and deepen their squad, their options. And obviously, like I say, for the Europa League group that they've got as well, he's going to have the freedom to go out and express himself. And the way that they play, he's going to have the freedom to go out and express himself. So he's going to be a very exciting prospect to watch for the next season. Isn't Fati the number 10, the next Messi? He was brought in as that, but obviously those were incredibly huge and unrealistic shoes to fill by anybody. So, yeah. Fati was brought in with the kind of next potential as being the next big thing for Barcelona. Hasn't exactly worked out for him so far, but he's still relatively young. He's 20 years of age, 21, 20 years of age, something like that. Obviously got a lot of time ahead of him, a lot of potential ahead of him. It's just his injuries that have been a bit stop-start for him, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm getting off topic. Salah, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia have a bid rejected for Mohammed Salah. Like I say, fingers crossed Liverpool's resolve can withstand. Fingers crossed Salah isn't going to have his head turned at any point in the near future, to at least not until next summer, where we can maybe look at maybe signing some sort of replacement. But yeah, like I say, Salah, Saudi Arabia. This one doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Fingers crossed it is not. I'd love him to stay at Liverpool and retire. I'd love him to stay at Liverpool for the foreseeable future, extend his stay and retire. But I don't think that will happen. I think it will be next year. Liverpool decide to cash in on him whilst they have the opportunity to do so. Similar to a sort of Harry Kane scenario that Tottenham found themselves in this past summer. Happy with Bayer Leverkusen's start to the Bundesliga. They need to keep this up. And like I say, I'm very intrigued to watch Xabi Alonso's side going forward. And I think the Europa League has been kind to them as well. I think they've got a decent Europa League draw. And I would expect them to continue to progress and go forward. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing Xabi Alonso going forward. Almost at the end of the stream, and be back at 4 p.m., 3 hours in England time, everyone. Union Berlin is champions in Champions League this year. Yeah, I am going to go live. 4 p.m., I'll go live then. We'll talk about today's thing, because it normally starts to, unless there's obviously breaking news later on in the night, and then I'll go live for that as well. But around about 4 p.m. is when I'll be next here to talk more about the transfers of the day. We're going to be talking about Sergio Reguilon going to Manchester United. We're probably going to have something to do with Amrabat as well, going to United. We'll talk more about Cole Palmer going to Chelsea. João Palhinha going to Bayern Munich, of course, in the kind of domino effect that the sale of Ryan Gravenberch has seemingly created now. So that one is going to be interesting as well. And I'm sure there are going to be other names that are going to be talked about as well. So if you want to come back for that one, do come back for that one. Would love to hear from you all. I'll try and set up a... I've been testing Streamlabs, so I might see if I can get maybe a couple of you on, rather than it just be me talking, because I'm sure you're all bored of that by now. So I'll see if I can mess around with that, and I'll see if I can obviously bring that up and actually have it working properly. Me and technology don't quite get along, so it could be a mess. It could be an absolute car crash, but it might make for entertaining viewing, especially when I decide to throw the thing out the window because it's not working. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see on that one. Like I say, the main story, I'm sure we'll be talking about Salah. I'm sure there'll be follow-up and aftermath to this Salah thing as well. But the main story in this video is Mohammed Salah, the subject of transfer speculation. Liverpool have rejected a bid for the Egyptian winger from Al-Ittihad of Saudi Arabia, but I don't believe we have heard the last of this one. These are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. Hit the like button if you haven't already on your way out. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things always and probably greatly appreciated. And just as I say that, Fabrizio Romano says, Sophie and Amrabat back to Manchester United. Here we go. Agreement in place. We will talk more about that later on in the 4 o'clock video that we're doing. That was to be expected, by the way. That's not like anything breaking news or anything. That was to be expected. So I'm gonna get more on that. Like I say, get in the comments, hit me with your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure it will make for great and interesting reading on this particular Mohammed Salah story. Like I say, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And of course, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Have a good day. See you soon.